Tonight on CTV, students come forward about problems within the College of Business.
Then we get personal with a World War II veteran.
And later, new lights twinkle on the plaza.
All this and more starting right now on CTV. Good evening, Rams, and thank you for tuning in to our final show of the semester. I'm Emma Iannacone.
And I'm Ryan Christ. Tonight we bring you everything you need to know about tensions within the College of Business.
That's right, Ryan. Today, the Collegian reported a biased culture within the College of Business. Despite the COB's efforts to promote an inclusive and welcoming environment, many students still feel a lack of representation. Several students anonymously shared one instance where a professor gave an eye-clicker question written in Chinese, to which the answer was dog. Some perceived this to be a derogatory assumption of Chinese food stereotypes. Students also report bias and microaggression when working on group projects and aggressive environments promoted by professors. According to the COB census, white identifying students make up nearly 74% of the undergraduate program, and 61% are male identifying students. As for faculty, the COB also has 31% female and 9% minority faculty. For more information on this story, you can read the front page of the Collegian.
According to the Fort Collins Police Department, multiple charges have been filed against the suspect in a Thanksgiving Day burglary and fatal car collision that killed 38-year-old Nicole Neese and her father, 55-year-old John Neese. 20-year-old Marcus Orcozo has a multitude of pending charges, including 2 charges for murder in the first degree, vehicular eluding, and leaving the scene of an accident. Orcozo was arrested on November 22nd and is booked in the Larimer County Jail. For more information on this story and arrest, you can visit fcgov.com. In lighter news, this year's Giving Tuesday, hosted by Rams Against Hunger, was a record-breaking year. With nearly $98,260 raised, over 13,500 meals will be provided to 180 Rams who struggle with food insecurities. The majority of donations came from faculty and staff, followed closely by alumni, with parents coming in third. Along with these incredible donations, over $27,000 were raised for other CSU funds. For more information about donors and Rams Against Hunger, you can visit giving.collegestate.edu.
Really uplifting story there. Free printing could be coming to CSU soon, but not soon enough for seniors like myself. The Associated Students of CSU are recommending the university administration use a company called Freinters, which would make printing free for all students. But the catch is that multiple pages of advertisements would be printed in order to pay for the paper. So if you're printing an 8-page essay, there will be a total of 4 extra pages of advertisements. Seems like a lot, so in order to combat the amount of paper used, the company plants a tree for every 8,300 pages. Now, there was some pushback from some senators saying it's wasteful and unnecessary since many colleges already pay for students to print for free. But Senator Ethan Burschek says by using Freinters, students will save massive amounts from student fees. We at CTV would like to hear what you think of this idea, so tweet us at CTV11 with the hashtag CSU Freinters and tell us how you feel.
World War II was almost 80 years ago. Not many are still around to talk about what it was like. However, one Fort Collins man can, though, and he is more than just a veteran, he is a survivor.
Not many can say they fought in World War II. Few can say they fought for the Germans, and even fewer can say that they met the man who caused it all, Adolf Hitler. Win Schendel, a Fort Collins resident, is one of those few who met Hitler.
I still remember that, he and I looked at each other and I looked like somebody looking through you.
He was 10 years old when he was forced into the Hitler Youth Program. His father was killed by the Gestapo, and Win saw the true horrors of the Nazi uprising in Germany at a very young age.
In Hanover earlier, we had to dig a lot of people up with Hitler Youth and to find bodies or pieces and misery on wheels. I've seen the streets burn and people running out of the streets on the asphalt streets and burned to death like a candle. And there's nothing worse than the smell of a dead body and flowers. I don't like that smell.
After 75 years, these horrible memories still live with Win. But now he spends his days collecting model trains. Wynn is retired and living happily in Fort Collins, where he is proud to be an American.
And having this nice place, it's a fortune.
Wynn is concerned when he sees neo-Nazis in America because he has seen where it can lead.
It's a scary, the general attitude. And in World War II, this country really gets together. And you see in the movies, old movies, how everybody pitched in. And that's what we need again, to pitch in for each other. I mean for each other, not for just for me.
Wynn is 86 years old and recently spoke on the CSU campus about his experiences. Hopefully he will be back soon because he has plenty of stories to share.
The Murphy Center here in Fort Collins offers a number of services to the community, especially for those who are or at risk of facing homelessness. According to the Coloradoan, the Fort Collins City Council has approved more than $180,000, in the upcoming budget to expand the center's hours and services. The center was previously open from 8 in the morning to 5 in the evening, but the new budget allows the center to stay open until 10 at night, beginning in December and running until April. These changes are an effort to help the homeless population stay warm during the harsh winter months.
CSU has taken major steps since 2015 to close the pay gaps between male and female professors. According to an internal analysis released today, the pay gap between tenured and tenure-track professors has nearly closed. The 2015 analysis showed male and female professors of the same status are paid quite differently. And now female professors are earning 97% of their male counterparts' earnings. President Tony Frank announced earlier this month the formation of the President's Council on Culture. The group will help guide the university's efforts to promote equality, inclusion, and culture change, not just among genders. In an email sent to campus on November 1st, President Frank stated it is important to continue to move forward, and in doing so will lay critical groundwork for whoever steps into the presidential role in July.
Now, if you're one of those lucky students who doesn't spend every night in the library or on campus, you may not have noticed the new twinkly lights on the plaza. The blue lights are part of a new tradition from the ASCSU meant to brighten the plaza during the winter season. The money used to pay for the lights came from student fees and will cost between $3,500 and $4,000. They definitely put me in a cheery mood when I was walking to the studio tonight. What do you think of them, Ryan?
Well, I thought they were pretty great when I saw them for the first time a few nights ago when they're up. I thought it was just such a cool way to use that space. You know, usually that's pretty dark in those trees up there, and it'd be really cool to see them go all the way down, you know, main campus on those trees. But
yeah, that would be really cool. It reminds me of Old Town. It's kind of a nice connection between CSU and Fort Collins.
It does. It's great.
Well, Rams, that's all the news we have for you this semester. Thank you for spending your evenings with us here at CTV.
But stay tuned, because later on, Jared Stratton and a special guest are going to recap the unfortunate week for men's and women's basketball.
What's up, Henry?
Hey, Julia. What's up?
What are you drinking your coffee out of this morning?
I don't even know.
Yeah, no, you should fix that.
It's uninspired.
You gotta get in this 905 club, let me tell you.
So if I donate $90.50, I can be part of this club?
It's got mugs, it's got shirts, and it's all dedicated to KCSU.
Well, I guess I'm going to donate to Club 905 because I support local college radio. What about you?
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Good evening, Rams. Welcome back to Thursday Weather. I'm your host, Carson Porterfield. And tonight, I'm a little sad because it's the last night I get to deliver all things weather to you, the beautiful audience of Fort Collins. But let's make this last night the best night we can. But first, When you think of CC, you probably think of an email. For me, I think of current conditions, so let's get right into those. Looking at that temperature, it is 40 degrees outside with partly cloudy skies with that sun setting over 3 hours ago at 4:30. Thankfully, the winds tonight will be fairly mild, so there shouldn't be much of a wind chill, so you can enjoy that beautiful fall night. Looking at earlier today, the trees and the plants were feeling a bit like me on finals because they were pretty much dead. But it didn't matter because the day was beautiful and there was no clouds in the skies, and they were almost as beautiful as my host, Colin Sanders. It was just another reminder of how great and amazing this campus is. You get the drill. Looking at tonight's lows, things are going to get cold all across Colorado on this fall night. Looking over on the west side, 28 in Craig, 25 in Vail, and the coldest it's getting is 19 in Gunnison. Coming along the I-25 corridor, things will be in the high 20s and the low 30s at 29 in Fort Collins, 31 in Denver, 28 in Colorado Springs, and 28 in Pueblo, with the highest it getting on the east side is 31 in Lamar. Coming into tomorrow's highs, on the west side, 36 in Craig with a high of 41 in Grand Junction and 42 in Alamosa, so it should be pretty nice over there in the mountains. Looking on the east side with 54 in Lamar and 55 in Pueblo, so things should be pretty beautiful towards the south side of Colorado. Looking at tomorrow's forecast, it will not be like it was today with clear skies, as it's going to be cloudy all day long, and around the PMs there should be some rain coming in, so you might even need one of these. I sure will. I know I will, so I don't mess up my hairdo. Thankfully, looking at tomorrow, that rain will clear up, and it should be a partly cloudy, sunny day on that Saturday with a high of 44. Unfortunately, those clouds will get even fuller, and we should have some snow on that Sunday, up to 2 inches on that Monday, looking with a high of 33. Those clouds should get out of the way on that Tuesday with even sunny skies with a high of 36, and it will stay that low temperature on Wednesday with those clouds coming back with a high of 38. Well, Rams, that's all I have. It has been an amazing semester, and I have enjoyed every second of it. Up next, we have Litos Castro and Jared Stratton talking about some of their fantasy football sports, and after that, we have Colin Sanders talking about some hot metal. Good night, Rams.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back from the break, Rams, and a Thursday night sports show. I'm Jared Stratton.
And I'm Litos Castro. Let's get started.
On Tuesday, the men's basketball team took on Southern Illinois University. The Rams gave their fans a run for their money in the first half with a constant back and forth game, including 7 lead changes, with the Rams only being behind by 5 points at halftime. It gave the Rams a chance to close the gap for an ability to win, but their second half was an entirely new game. Southern Illinois erupted to score 37 points to CSU's 27. SIU was slashing in the paint for score after score, 44 to be exact, to the point where they could cut in the paint with a butter knife. But all jokes aside, the paint used to be an anchor for the Rams due to the talents of Nico Carvacho, but SIU's game plan helped pull him out of the paint and allowed for many offensive rebounds. SIU doubled the Rams in rebounds with 34, making it impossible for the Rams to hold on. After the game, Nico Medved talked about the rebounding problem.
It's we use the word punish. I mean, your man goes up, me, Kendall, hey, about these guys. Sometimes, in rotations, you're going to have to punish a bigger guy. You may not come up with the rebound, but simply punishing or blocking him out to allow somebody else to get it on. You got to gang rebound. Guards have to rebound down. It's 5 guys that have to be committed to defensive rebounding if you're going to be a good team. And clearly that didn't show up tonight. And we got exposed from a team who sent multiple guys, and they really did a good job being tenacious on the glass, and we didn't. And the film will show our guys we're thinking in there, Nico's about got his hand on it, and guys are thinking about getting out in transition because he usually comes up with those. Well, that didn't happen tonight, again, disappointing, but I think it's an opportunity to learn and grow. And
rebounding will be the Rams' focus this Saturday against the undefeated CU Boulder team, which will be at 1 in the afternoon.
Yesterday, the women's basketball team traveled to Washington to face off against the Gonzaga Bulldogs, where they lost 39-50. CSU had what would best be described as a disappointing performance. The story of the game simply comes down to the offense, or lack of offense, that CSU produced. The Bulldogs outscored the Rams in the first, second, and third quarter of the game. The Rams struggled so much offensively that they only scored 3 points to the Bulldogs' 12 in the third quarter. The Bulldogs only showed any weakness in the fourth quarter, scoring 5 points to the Rams' 12. But that was not enough for the Rams to overcome the deficit that was built throughout the rest of the game. Looking at player performances, Rams sophomore guard Laura DeVos may have to rest her back after carrying the CSU team with 17 of their 39 points, with the next closest being only 8 points from Molly Mounsey. On the Bulldog side, almost their entire roster was putting up points on the board, with the leading scorers being Zakara Rice with 12 points and Katie Campbell with 9. With this loss, we will see if the Rams can bounce back from this on Sunday, where CSU will face off against North Florida at noon in Moby Arena. All right, Jared. Now, CSU is unfortunately not in playoff contention. However, college playoffs and NFL football playoffs are just around the corner, so we're going to talk about some fantasy football. We're in a couple leagues together, so let's not talk about the one where you're 10-2 with the record and beating me. Let's talk about the one where we're tied and I have a chance. All right. Start off with your team. Who you got this week?
All right. Well, this week I do have Kerryon Johnson, which stinks because he's injured, but I also have Adam Thielen and Team Juju, I like to call him, but Juju Smith-Schuster. They've been carrying my team this whole year. I've been able to get the same record as you. Disappointing that's the same record as you, but that's all I have to say on that. But who got in your team, I should say?
Well, right now I got the Cowboys. I got Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. Right now they're doing pretty good. I checked right before we came on, and they both got a touchdown to their name. I'm very happy. I'm really hoping it pulls through. I can only hope, though, because I also have Sony Michel and Gronkowski from the Patriots, and I can't rely on the Patriots.
And you can't cheer for the Patriots either.
It's a lose-lose situation. But, when I look at my picks, I hope that they do well. But unfortunately, right now, it might be looking like a Monday night show where I just pick like Jason, and I just make all the wrong picks.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. And for those who didn't know about the Triple J Pick'em Challenge, it's where the CTV sports anchors Jessica Mendoza, Jason Ortiz, and I predict who is going to win the top games in college football and basketball. Since Jason was sick on Monday, he decided to make his own Pick'em Challenge during the Tuesday night show, and he decided to be bold and roast Jessica and I for our picks for what but he forgot that I have a Thursday night show to call him out on it. He said that our opinions changed too much over the year. He did the exact same thing on Tuesday, 10 seconds before, by choosing Georgia over Alabama. Let's see what he said on Tuesday compared to earlier this year.
So obviously, I'm taking the Dogs in this game. I feel as if they're still a little salty about the loss to Alabama last year. Georgia's not a very good team this year.
If that wasn't enough to convince you, here is a prediction record for the year before he had fellow sports anchor Corey Odom pick for him. I do have to say, Litos, victory does taste good.
But that's none of our business.
Well, that's all the time we have for you today. Make sure to check CTV on Twitter and YouTube to keep updated on the CSU athletics over break, but don't leave just yet. Up next, we have Colin Sanders with entertainment.
Can't make it to the CSU volleyball game? No worries. Be in the moment for CSU volleyball games by listening in to live broadcasting from CSU's official radio station, 90.5 KCSU Fort Collins. Live broadcasts are available for streaming on kcsufm.com, the TuneIn app, and of course, 90.5 FM.
told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back, Rams, and as Carson Porterfield said, I am Colin Sanders here with your Fort Collins Entertainment Update. Colorado State University is one of the few institutions in northern Colorado with their own composting facility. Located at the university's Foothills campus, CSU also has the Zero Waste Team, an organization dedicated to the proper disposal and treatment of recyclables, compost, and trash around campus and at events. The team was formed after CSU expanded their compost facility in spring of 2017, adding a windrow composting system that can handle campus's organic waste. The Zero Waste Team, while also collecting and properly disposing of waste products, provides education to students at events on what is recyclable, what is garbage, and what is compostable. If only they could figure out how to reduce, reuse, and recycle my tuition, I'd certainly appreciate it. Old Town's rapidly growing north side is now home to Little Horse Vintage, a mid-century designer vintage shop featuring a vast stock of books, vinyls, and furniture. The Louisville, Colorado-based store opened the doors of its Fort Collins location on November 17th. Little Horse is the brainchild of Mike Price, who started the company back in 2002. When practical postmodern and vintage style began to come back into fashion, Price started out by specializing in old books, but has moved into other 1950s to 70s goods like furniture and sound equipment. Not only is Price bringing back appreciation for 1960s styles to Old Town, but also his passion for the environmental and sentimental aspects of saving the classic items. So to all you vintage hipsters out there, I suggest it's time to put down your kombucha and head on over to Little Horse. Has anyone else out there been curious how bronze is forged and how beautiful metal artworks are made? I know I have. Well, lucky for us, I met with a professional metal artist here at CSU's new foundry. Inside the second building, a part of the Art and Art History Department, the reopened CSU Foundry is located, where Scott Kreider, along with other CSU Art and Art History staff, work and forge creative art pieces through a lengthy process.
Traditionally, you would start with a wax sculpture. We use the lost wax process here. We can also burn out anything that's flammable, anything that will burn at around 1,000 degrees and create that cavity that we can then fill with bronze. So that starts with your sculpture, kind of if you imagine upside down. So the top of it is actually towards the floor. And you have a cup and a series of tubes that connect the cup to the sculpture. And those will transfer bronze and air away from the sculpture. And we take that and we invest it in a material called ludo. And it's a traditional kind of Italian investment material. And then the sculpture is cooked in a kiln for a number of hours to remove the material inside it. We bring it out, bury it in what's called the pit, which is right in front of the furnace itself. And we melt our bronze, melts at about 1,700 degrees. We pour at about 2,000 roughly, depending on the size of the sculpture. And after that, you wait a day, knock it out of the mold, and you're about 50% done at that point. So you can kind of see.
It looks like the foundry seems to have a bright future ahead for all art students to hone in on the ancient skill. How informative. I feel like I should drop out of school and open up my own foundry. I'm sure it'll work out great. In the age of Instagram models and social media, everyone wants unique pictures to post that will get them a plethora of likes. Colorado State University's campus has countless locations that make for Insta-worthy photos. In fact, there are 9 places that have become famous amongst CSU students for their Instagram pages. Starting with the light-up orbs outside the Chemistry Research Building, the Morgan Library, the Treehouse Meeting Room inside the Natural Resource Building, the colorful pillars outside the Laurie Student Center, also the LSC Piano, the lagoon near the LSC, Yates Foliage Wall, and finally, the Oval. At the heart of the university, the Oval has been the destination for senior photos, study dates, and even marriage proposals. So if there are any of you out there looking for inspiration to spice up your Instagram, all you busy CSU students who like to get out and about, the city of Fort Collins revealed that the future of public and private transportation is right around the corner. The city panel discussed last night better ways to accommodate the growing population, current transportation trends, high-frequency transportation, and new technologies that could potentially assist transportation in the future. A big topic of the night was the integration of public transportation and private transportation, such as ride-sharing services like Lyft and Uber. The city is also working with private transit industries which can help cut costs while effectively transporting people to where they need to go. So stay tuned for big changes in the future of transportation in Fort Collins. Well, Rams, that's all the entertainment news I have for you this semester. It's a sad goodbye, but hopefully not forever. Stay tuned for next semester for everything community and campus related that you need to know. From everyone here at CTV, thank you and good night.
Did we scare you?
Oh,